officers, associate NCC officers, permanent instructors, and my dear cadets. Now we begin the third session of our lecture on communicative skills, or rather communication skills. In fact, the major motto of this camp is role of youth in nation building. Role of youth in nation building. I was just conveying the idea, rather sharing the idea that the youth has a very, very significant role in the building or the construction or the development of the nation. I conveyed that fact. Rather, I said in my beginning, in my first lecture, I said that youth is the pillar of the nation. Youth is the backbone of the nation. And in the second and the subsequent point, second part, and of course, thereafter I said that the empowerment of youth is possible only through communication skills. And last session, part 2 of the session, we saw that communication skills is not just the ability to speak something. Communication skills is not just the ability to speak something. It is not the ability to say something. It is not the ability to make some noise. No, it is not that. There are a lot of people. I can make a lot of noise. I am making a lot of noise. Yeah, right. But I must look into myself. I must ask myself, what is the use of my noise? I make a lot of noise. You and I make a lot of noise. Similarly, each of us make a lot of noise. So we should ask ourselves, does this noise I make, does all this kind of noise, does all the chaos, does this storm I make, does the very, very loud voice that comes from my chest, my heart, my lungs, help the society? Does it help the society? Does it help anybody? That is the very significant question we have to ask. Communication skills. There are a lot of people who can make a lot of noise. There are a lot of people who make a lot of speeches, great speakers, great orators. Do they help their family? Does their voice, or do their voice contribute to the development of their family? Does it in any way help any members of their family? Does it in any way help the very office they work in? Does it in any way help the very organization they work for? Does it in any way help the state, the country, the world? This is what we have to discuss, because today's young man is tomorrow's state leader, national leader, international leader. So we have to ask. Communication skills, we know how to make a lot of noise. We know how to speak in our language. We know how to write, and we are improving it. We are listening to the BBC. We are listening to the Voice of America. We are listening to CNN. We are listening to India Today. We have all the channels in front of us. It is inside our pocket. It's everywhere, and we are listening to it. We have, of course, devices stuck into our ears. We have devices stuck into all the organs of the body. I can see people when I just jog in the road, or when I just work outside. When I work in my farm, I can see people just walk in the road. They have mobiles in their pockets, in the pockets of their trousers. They have mobiles in their shirt pocket. Their devices, or the headset is just stuck into the ears. Access to all the channels, access to a number of sources to improve the language, improve, of course, communication skills. But we are discussing role of youth in nation building, and now we have to consider, we have communication skills, and is communication skill, or does it just refer to the ability to speak, the ability to write, the ability to make some noise? And here comes the next part of our discussion, that is part 2, styles and ways of communication. We are discussing the second part of our topic, communication skills, styles and ways of communication. Very, very relevant. What is communication? What is real communication? Why should you communicate? That is what we discuss here. I can make a noise. I can make a lot of noise. I'm making a lot of noise. People make a lot of noise. I can make a lot of noise in Hindi. I can rather maybe people can. No, I'm so I don't say about myself. I don't make much noise in Hindi. My Hindi is not that good. But there are people who can handle 10 languages. There are people who can handle 15 languages. All the skills, writing, speaking, okay, anything and everything. Question is, does it help the society? Does it help the community? Does it help the country? Does it help the own family? And now we have to look at styles and ways of communication. And now we have to understand there are three styles of communication. There are three styles of communication. Okay, in fact, ours is, of course, this national camp is a camp for NCC cadets, and all the topics we discussed so far is very important for your common subjects. There will be plenty of questions from all these topics for your NCC C certificate examination, your NCC B certificate examination, and even it is helpful for the JD junior division. They will also find it useful for their A certificate examination, communication skills. And remember, you have to be very careful about what is communication, what are, of course, different aspects of communication. And right now we are discussing styles of communication, and there are three styles of communication. And here you have to understand that some kind of communication, some people, they have a lot of communication skills, they can speak a lot of languages, but their communication style is number one. What is that? It is aggressive. There are three styles of communication styles. There are three styles of communication. Style number one, aggressive. Aggressive. You might see such people. There could be such cadets among us, but if there is, of course, if I am if my communication skill is aggressive, I must change. If any of our cadets communication style is, of course, aggressive, we have to change. Even in the family, if any of our communication style is aggressive, we have to change. Let us understand what is aggressive communication style. Aggressive communication style, I would say it is in fact a kind of dominating kind of suppressing kind of oppressing kind of eliminating kind of communication. Aggressive communication. Just I am the boss, I am everything, I only can speak, I alone know things, I am the most powerful person here. That is the kind of attitude of the aggressive people having this kind of style. Some people, they always make a lot of noise. At home, they quarrel with their family, their father, their mother, their wife, son, daughter, everybody. Aggressive style. They never speak in a polite, humble, with any kind of politeness or any kind of humility. They don't care for others. I am the powerful person. Very, very, very aggressive, arrogant, egoistic. Remember, humility is the queen of virtues. Think of our Mahatma Gandhi, father of our nation. All the English people attending the round table conference called him half-naked fakir. Half-naked fakir. And on the way to, of course, the conference, in the train, he was being spit upon by his fellow passengers, Englishmen, white people. But he did not have the aggressive kind of communicative style. So aggressive. So exam point of view. Okay, what are the styles of communication? All right, aggressive style, where the speaker is just very dominating, and he believes that he is, of course, the most important person. I am never wrong. I am always right. I know everything. I can just solve any issues. Okay, and I have all the right, I have all the power. You don't have any power. This particular style, the person doesn't let others to have minimum right. No, remain silent there, don't speak anything. That is their attitude, and that's the aggressive style, and it is very, very dangerous, very dangerous. And remember, in the aggressive style, what happens is these people never smile. They never have a smile. They are always angry, very, very, very protesting, rebellious, quarrelsome kind of people, just like king cobras, just hissing, 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 like tigers roaring and lions bark, even wild dogs or stray dogs just barking. Aggressive style of communication, very bad. Maybe if they are the head of any office, the condition of the colleagues is very pathetic. They will always have to remain very, very submissive and just like slaves because the boss is having aggressive style. So, my dear friends, let us not have this kind of aggressive style when we communicate. Let us be humble. Let us be rather friendly. Let us just respect others. And this is about the first style of communication, the aggressive style, and it is not at all good. This aggressive style is not at all good. It is very bad, very bad. Okay, and we don't want. We are speaking about the role of youth in our nation, our young men. Remember, we had the independence struggle. Of course, many leaders wanted the radical kind of fighting. They wanted, of course, just fight against the British people, real fighting. But Gandhiji always said, hold on to truth, hold on to satyagraha, ahimsa, non-violence. That should be we are Indians. We have great leaders like that. And role of the Indian youth today in nation building is, of course, to walk in the very path that the father of the nation showed. So we must be humble. We must, of course, have a lot of good qualities. If there is a good person in a family, that family is a very strong family. If there are good people in all the families, that society is a strong family. If all the people in the country, in India, are good, if all the young men in the country are good, our country would be the strongest country. So that kind of a country is the country our great leaders dreamed. Gandhiji dreamed, Tagore dreamed, Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, all these people just had such a dream of an India where the positivity is spreading, energy is spreading, goodness is spreading. With goodness you have progress, with goodness you have prosperity, with goodness India will go up. This is the role of the youth, I would say, and we should have very good communication skill, very good communication style, never the aggressive style. I'm just moving on to the next style, that is, of course, passive communication style. Communication style, the second type is passive type of communication. And this kind of passive type of communication, remember, I can just, now I am talking, I am talking, you are listening to me. And even you can just yeah, stop. You can just sleep there. If you are sleeping there, you are being passive. If you are just looking out, okay, if you are looking out at the trees outside, you are being passive. If you are just yawning loudly, not caring for me, my words, you are being passive. And if you are just looking at the watch, oh my God, when will he stop? It's time. I just want to go out and have my dinner. I must, okay. So if you are showing such kind of irritation and such kind of disturbance, you are being passive. And that is, of course, in the case of listening. But remember, even in life, there could be this kind of passive communication. Passive communication is not just speaking and listening. This is, of course, there is passive communication in life. Some people, okay, in an office, if the boss knows about the achievement of a subordinate, or maybe, right, you have a clerk there, and of course, the superior officer knew about the achievement of a clerk, and he read this particular news of the clerk winning an award, and if the officer does not congratulate him for his achievement, if he doesn't say a word of good, some kind of a word of promotion, a word of encouragement, a word of support, that is passive communication. That is passive communication, and it is very, very bad. If you see your brother's achievement, if you see your neighbor's achievement, if you see your colleague's achievement, if you see or hear about anybody's achievement or progress, be with them, congratulate them, promote them, support them. If somebody is talking in a good way, tell them you are doing a good job. Don't be passive about that. Don't just ignore it. There are some people, of course, who are just ignoring. Our youth should not do that. Our youth should just be very, very active and promoting and broad-minded. This is about communication skill again. We must not be passive. Now, I'm just speaking about the third style of communication. Different styles of communication: aggressive communication, passive communication, and assertive communication. I would say, or other great people say, that assertive kind of communication is the best kind of communication. It's the good kind of communication. And what is the assertive communication style? In assertive communication style, the speaker cares for the listener. Okay, the listener cares for the speaker, and of course the speaker and the listener consider the other valuable. You are valuable, you speak good things, I care for you, you are important to me, okay, you are special to me, I care for you, I want you to be there, I want to listen to you. Okay, and this is assertive kind of communication style. Let us have this kind of assertive kind of communication in which we care for others, we respect for others, we just care for the feelings of others. Okay, where we have, of course, good body language. In this passive kind of communication style, you could be just sleeping, you would be just looking out, you would be just yawning, all that is bad. But in assertive kind of communication style, you smile at the other person, you look into the other person's eye, you just shake hands with him, just pat on his shoulder, you just hold a kind of heart to heart relationship with that person. And that is the kind of good communication style you must have, I must have. I must care for you, you should care for me. That should be our communication style. Okay, and we now finish the three styles of communication styles. We have to look at one more topic, that is ways of communication. That is the next topic. A small portion, we'll see that, discuss that. Thereafter we will just end this session. So once again, let's just review. See, youth can be empowered through good communication skills, positive communication skills, where you care for the other person, you love the other person, you protect the other person, you promote the other person, sometimes you shoulder the other person. That is, of course, the good assertive kind of communication style. Aggressive, very bad. Passive, very bad. Assertive kind of communication. Now, of course, we have different types of communication. This is, of course, communication style. Now we have different modes or manners of communication, and that could be just two types of communication. There are two ways of communication. One is what is known as one-way communication. First, we are discussing, remember the topic is, you can just write down and don't be confused. So initially we saw the styles of communication, three styles of communication. One is assertive, the other is aggressive, assertive, and of course passive. Now we are discussing ways of communication, and there are two ways of communication. One is one-way communication, one way. The second is two-way communication. Let us understand that. What is one-way communication? In one-way communication, what happens? That is something kind of there is a little bit of it could be because of the position, right? Okay. One-way communication, there is one man who is just giving an order, or he is just communicating, and the other person, the listener or the receiver, has nothing to do with the very message. The speaker, okay, is giving the message, the receiver receives it. Oh my God, this is the message. Okay. Oh my God, why is it so? No, you cannot ask. Accept it, go home. Accept it, do it. That is the kind of first way of communication, one-way communication. Say, for example, maybe the principal, okay, in the college, in the school, all right, the principal is just reading out an order. This Saturday is going to be a working day, and all the students will come in uniform. What will the students do? Can they go and ask the? No. You go there, maybe the leaders of the students go there, but they, okay, this is right. Normally you shouldn't go. And this, if the situation is such that the students cannot go there and ask the principal, why is it that, just can you just change it? That there is no such possibility. It is one way. Or rather, the ruler is just, he makes an order, and of course the subordinates have to obey it. This is one-way communication. And what is the second kind of communication, or the second way of communication? That is two-way communication. Two-way communication is very much there in a family, and it should be there in a family. Say, for example, yeah, we are discussing something. What is now? Of course, we cannot discuss some situations like going for a tour or an excursion. But okay, maybe if we have good times, like no COVID, no virus, nothing, maybe you can go for a picnic. And when we discuss picnic in the family, yeah, everyone has a voice. Dad says something, mom says something, son says something, daughter says something, grandparents say something. All right, and everyone has a voice. And such a kind of communication, when there is no dominance as such, when everyone can share their idea, that is two-way communication. Two-way communication. Okay, now with this we will conclude this session, and we have one more session, the last session. I will just start after some time. So let's just review what we learned so far. So far in this session we studied about different styles of communication. There are three styles of communication: the aggressive communication, passive communication, and assertive communication. We also studied ways of communication, two ways of communication: one-way communication and two-way communication. So remember all these things, and just write down all these things in your notebook, learn all these things, get a very good score in your NCC certificate examination. Moreover, be a very good individual at your home, at your school, at your office, and be the backbone of the country, the great India. Thank you so much, everybody.